Hi there, this video is called Climatic Weather UK 2020. If you like this music in this video, please give me a thumbs up. The time at the moment, approximately 21:50pm in the evening, and it's analog, it's 8:51pm in the evening. It's the 31st of January, guys, 2020. We're talking about the weather, guys, for the future across the UK in general. Basically, this is number one outcome, guys. There's 20 outcomes to come. When the weather's going this direction more, that means it's wants to come that way. If it's an easterly, it's wants to go that way. As northerly, you get it, guys. That's how we do the weather forecast for the future, guys, across the UK. There's 20 outcomes. Here we go. This is number one. So about dry weather across the south of England and wet weather across the northern Scotland. This one. Number two outcome. Let's see what that was like. Of course, weather UK across the UK in general on the 15th of February. Talk about a very stormy low on the 15th of February, guys, because of Northern Ireland. It's called Scotland. You name it. That's a storm. Might be a named storm. You never know. But the pressure's deep enough. Number three outcome is basically low pressure over northern Scotland, but the rest of the UK is quite dry. Quite strong southwesterly winds, guys. That's the second one. That's the third one in the row. Number four outcome, talk about southwesterly winds and dry weather across the southeast and wet weather across Scotland and Northern Ireland. You name it. Number five outcome across the UK in general, talk about very strong southwesterly winds or strong westerly winds. Quite wet across the whole of the UK in general. Number six outcome, talk about wet weather across the whole of the UK in general. And quite little light winds, not very strong winds. Number seven outcome across the UK in general, the weather. Quite wet weather at times across the UK, but it's not very strong winds. The ice walls are quite stretched out. There's like high pressure trying to build over Iceland. That might be blocking high, guys. You have to see on that one. Number eight outcome for the weather across the UK in general. Quite dry across the southeast. Might be a bit of frost. Not very strong winds. Quite slack winds. Quite dry. So it's across Scotland and Northern Ireland in general. And across the whole of the UK, it's quite anti-cyclonic weather across this is number nine outcome. Quite anti-cyclonic weather, guys, across the whole of the UK in general. Quite windy across Northern Ireland and Scotland, though. Number 10 outcome for the weather across the UK in general is quite dry in the southwest, but wet across the whole of the UK. Strong southwesterly winds across Northern Ireland and Scotland and Northern England, you name it. Number 11 outcome for the weather across the UK, talking about dry weather and cyclonic, maybe a bit of frost and foggy weather across the UK in general, across Scotland especially and Northern Ireland, you name it, guys. And wet weather, no wet weather at all on that outcome, number 11. Number 12 outcome, the same, quite dry, anticyclonic weather, guys. Yeah, dry and anticyclonic, quite frosty in the morning across southern England, maybe some frost and foggy weather across the whole of the UK in general. Number 13 outcome across the UK in general, talk about very strong far-fetched southwesterly winds, quite windy, and quite wet across Scotland and Northern Ireland, you name it, guys, and Belfast. Number 14 outcome, talk about quite wet weather across the whole of the UK in general, quite windy across Scotland and Northern Ireland, you name it. And you name it, southwest of England, talk about across Cornwall, talk about dry weather across the UK. Number 15 outcome, anticyclonic weather, high pressure on the build over Scandinavia by the looks of it. That's quite chilly mornings and frosty mornings, well, foggy weather as well. Number 16 outcome across the UK in general, talk about southwesterly winds, northwesterly winds, quite maritime air, quite chilly air, not very freezing cold air, quite stormy across Scotland, you name it, guys, and quite wet across Scotland, you name it, guys. Number 17 outcome, quite stormy across Scotland, quite windy across the whole of the UK and wet across the UK in general, you name it. Number 18 outcome for the weather across the UK in general, on 15th of February, talking about southwesterly winds, quite dry across the south of England and Scotland. It's talking about wet weather across Scotland and Northern Ireland, quite windy as well. Number 19 outcome, talking about it being quite stormy and wet across the UK in general, quite strong northwesterly winds. Number 20 outcome, talking about dry weather across the south, quite windy though, and across northern Scotland, like stormy low on the end, wet weather, guys. And this is the weather for the future across 10 HPA across the North Pole. This is the North Pole temperature. You got an SSW, quite a weak one, guys. Not really a very strong one, guys. No joke about that. And yeah, it's definitely getting to not be an SSW. It's definitely going to be a 10 HPA. Quite unfortunately not an SSW. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's no SSW across the North Pole at 10 HPA. I'm afraid there's no breakdown in the ball vortex. It's just a displacement, guys. Just a displacement across the North Pole at 10 HPA. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. May the force be with you always. Hope by support and these are many outlays of the few. Please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Bye everyone.